As a veteran, veteran suicide is very close and near and dear to my heart, and working to prevent it. We try to participate in as many different events as we can to help, not only help programs that assist veterans, but to help, keep that, epidemic of veteran suicide in the spotlight, because I think a lot of times it gets forgotten about. Post-Afghanistan, I didn't like going to the range as much because I wasn't controlling the firing. That can make it difficult. Post-Afghanistan, I went from being a pretty laid-back person to being uptight because I went from a hyper-focused environment back to a relaxed home environment, and that's tough. And people always say, oh, it couldn't have been that bad. It couldn't have been that bad. You never realize what it will affect you until it affects you. And you just have to, my personal opinion is you have to accept it and recognize it, and then you can treat it. Have I ever been to the point where I was suicidal and wanted to commit suicide? No, because I know how it feels to be the person getting that call. And I would never do that to my family and loved ones. I could never imagine having them receive that phone call. So is it a selfish reason that I wouldn't do it? No, it's out of love. But that's why you go and you see your therapists or psychiatrists, and I have quarterly appointments with my psychiatrist at the VA. I've been seeing her for over a decade, and I'm fine with that. It took me a while to recognize that I had to be fine with that, because I spent years answering questions on the forms that they were asking me the way I knew I had to answer them so that no red flags popped up. And there's a lot of veterans out there that do that. Now when they ask those questions, I answer them a bit more honestly. I don't know if I'm ever completely candid with them, but I try to be. And I've also recognized and incorporated a lot of understanding in talking with my wife and talking with my pastor at times, and during certain times of the year, anniversaries of certain things, they get rougher. And my wife has started to recognize those dates and gives me a little space on those days. And I'm very blessed for that, because I have a family that recognizes that I'm going to have bad days. I was a non-medical guy in a medical task force, so when I was out visiting these small, forward surgical units, and all of a sudden we had 4 or 5 patients coming in and everybody needed help with something, I saw things I never want to see again. And I've seen things that I'll probably never talk to my wife about. But it's taken me a decade, 12 years now, to recognize that there's certain things that I can talk about and certain things I won't.